Alright, so there's gonna be a little My Little Pony fanfic. It's called Of Light and Dark. So just be prepared for a bit of cringiness. Peppermint woke up peacefully. As she did so, she yawned before stretching her wings outward, preparing to take off. And her friend stopped her before she could slip out of the tree. Her friend Haku stopped her, saying what she was doing. "What are you doing, Peppermint? Where are you going?" said Haku with a confused expression. "Oh, I was going to stretch my wings," said Peppermint wearily, not wanting to give him any hint on what was going on. "Okay. Well, if you need anything, I'll be sleeping in the tree." "Okay, bye, Haku," Peppermint said excitedly as she took off to the skies. Meanwhile, the other friend was busy getting her alicorn magic under control so she could go to the alicorn show. If I could stop having my magic and go crazy on me for 1 minute. I did it! I think I did it! Huh? Now that I have everything I need to start my little test, I just need to get my little test subjects. Meanwhile, the Nowhere King was plotting out ways to escape his imprisonment. Paprika and Stronghoff were laying together, and Paprika snuggled up against him closely as he looked at her. He looked at her and smiled. Tianwao and Palmer, busy in the gazebo, were hanging out. And all of a sudden, chemistry sparked, and they embraced. And Peppermint soared across ages and ages of dead land, hoping that she could one day bring all these dead plants back to life, using her life magic. But that would take an endless amount of studying, and she'd have to study for a long time. She'd have to study for a long time before she could do a life spell. But since she was determined, she decided that she was gonna prove everyone wrong. Then she heard singing in the distance, and it sounded like someone was singing with the voice. Without warning, Peppermint decided to go check it out. And as a surprise, she saw a colorful pony with her wings outstretched and light shining through them as if they were stained glass. And there was a unicorn singing with her. And wait a second, her eyes were purple? And the Pegasus continued singing openly. Peppermint didn't want to get hypnotized, so she put her wings over her ears and prevented the voice from getting into them. That was until she spotted some moss and put some in her ears to act like little earbuds, so she could get closer to investigate without getting hypnotized. I have to find out what that Pegasus is up to. What is she planning? What does she plan to do with that unicorn? And what's gonna happen to her? I have to find a way to free her before it's too late. Peppermint flew back to Ponyville in search of her friend Haku. But when she got back, all she saw was just empty streets and a dark blue griffin. The griffin widened her eyes at Peppermint as she cowered, wings trembling and clutched tightly against her shivering form. Her tail tucked between her legs as she whimpered, one of her wings coming up and hiding her face. I'm not gonna hurt you. Just tell me what happened, and I'll go see what happened, Peppermint said calmly. Singing dragon, said the griffin with a terrified expression on her face. Singing dragon? Wait a second. The song ring! That's a singing dragon, Peppermint said, voice full of surprised. I have to go stop her. Maybe she knows where Haku might have went. But when she got there, she saw Haku with his eyes purple, and he was singing with the singing dragon. And then all of a sudden, everything went dark, and she saw two unicorns staring at each other as if they were fighting. Listen, Light. I know that we can't be doing this, but I am the stronger unicorn. I must be ruling Equestria, said Dark. Dark. No way, Dark. I am the stronger unicorn. I should be ruling Equestria, said Light with an angry tone. The two unicorns stared at each other, both mad. All Peppermint could do was just watch in horror. She was frozen. Hooves glued to the She was frozen as if her hooves were glued to the ground. She was unable to flap her wings or move her ears. The only thing she could do was blink and breathe. Then all of a sudden, 6 animals broke the silence. They had gotten her attention, and they were all speaking to her. And then all of a sudden, a gray unicorn walked up to her and said that she was the key in all of this. Light and Dark were too busy fighting to save the world from being consumed in eternal death. And so, she believed them. Just then, a light A light yellow alpaca jumped to her side and hugged her tightly. Her eyes widened as she felt the alpaca's arms wrap around her tall form. Before the small pink lamb could finally pull her away. Then, a fancy reindeer pranced into view. She showed off her floof before walking over to stand beside a bovine. The pink lamb stood behind the unicorn, cowering, as the dragon flew overhead, looking down at Peppermint. "Who are you guys, and what do you want with me?" Peppermint said, asking violently. "We are the Phoneme champions, and we're here to tell you not to give up. If anyone knows how to do this, it's you." Peppermint's eyes widened as her ears raised up, and she felt her entire body loosen as a chill went through it, all the way to the tips of her wings. They were right. She was the one who was able to do it. Just then, she felt a surge of power, and then all of a sudden, a blast of light occurred. Her hooves had transformed into talons, and her wings doubled as they turned into fancy butterfly wings. She changed to bright colors, as her horns changed to a bright blue. She still had her ears, but she was different. She had a long, scaly tail instead of a short, fluffy one, and she looked down at her talons. She screamed with horror as she tried to get it off, but as soon as she looked in the mirror, she saw her face. Her face was that of a dragon. A very rare dragon called a silkwing. She screamed as she ran, slipping in a wet puddle and slamming cheek first into the ground. She managed to collect herself as she picked herself up and saw that her wings fluttered. Then she saw a portal open up, and they said that she had to go save a world known as Pyria.